Yo, you know who it is, your boy Jadakiss. I'm chilling with my man Nick and my other man Nick. And you know what it is, Hardknocktv.
This is hunting season for my thugs in the cage, slugs in the gauge. They just want a couple likes, a little love on their page. That just make me want to hollow a brother. We supposed to be leaders, then why y'all want to follow each other?
There's definitely a lot of biblical references in the album, and religion comes through at different times. Can you speak a little bit about why you chose to start the album the way you did?
For one, it's a dedication to my man that I lost from colon cancer, so it had to have some biblical pieces on there. It had to have some somberness. It had to have some subtleness. It had to be grown. If anybody knew him from our camp, he was the one foot in, 1 foot out. Like you send him to talk to the label, you send him to get the verses, to get the production, to get things done, to even lawyer meetings before I need to go. He can go find out stuff, and he was the guy with the nice cut jeans, a good button up over the chucks. So the music that I wanted to represent in his light, it had to sound grown. I couldn't talk a bunch of 2000 Kiss, which you might like more. I had to represent his light and his name in a certain manner, and it had to go like that.
One of the lines that you have on there, you were saying that when times are hard isn't the only time to pray. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, because, you know, everybody's not spiritual, or everybody don't come from a background where their mother or father was, you know, heavily in prayer or in church or, you know, Islamic or Christian or what have you. Some people just skip the whole religion. Some homes is religious list, you know, and I don't know, that's just how I was raised. I came from that, so, you know, it's only right to instill that, and people learn about, you know, God or the higher powers, however they learn about it, and tend to only pray when it's too late. Even though it's never late, he's always gonna hear you and help you out and guide you through, but you gotta pray when things are going good as well. And talk to him when you're not asking them to help you with nothing, or just kicking it with them, and, you know what I mean, cleansing your soul. And that's all it's really about, you know what I mean?
There are a lot of tracks on this album that definitely felt very personal. When you're writing stuff like that, does it feel therapeutic?
Yeah, it was therapeutic. It was a different process than my normal process, because the studio was not too crowded, or, you know, my entourage wasn't really there, or if they was, they'd be in a lounge and I'll just be working with Poobs and Dazel. Sometimes my son would sit in on a session, but it was different. My sessions are more, the energy's more up, but with this I kept it like mellow, you know, to really focus and channel in on what I was trying to do.
You also went a little bit out of what we expected from you, and that you were singing on some tracks on here.
People Icepick always wanted me to sing. He always wanted me to try it, and, you know, if it didn't work, I ain't have to put it out, but he always like, yo, you gotta do it. They wanna hear that from you. You know, it's another thing with this album. I just try to do everything he ever asked me, from the features, the singing, the post-production, any little thing I could ever remember him being on me about in the studio. I just try to do that in this project.
Now, the singing on one of the tracks on Angels sounds a little reminiscent of some early 50, and I remember hearing where you said that something that he said kind of stuck out to you.
He told me one time, like, you don't even sing, you don't even be on your own hooks, like, so that always stuck with me, because he's a hook master, you know what I mean? He came in the game mastering, killing them hooks, singing regular, you know. That was a good key element of what he brings to the table. He always got good hooks.
Now, when you were singing, did you have any like second thoughts on like, my fans, the hardcore fans that have been with me all along, gonna be receptive to this? Or was it something that once you did it, you're like, I'm just gonna put it out in the world?
Nah, I wasn't really nervous, because I'm not going Jodeci. I'm not like singing like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not getting out of my element. The words are still hard, and the words are still current to today's time, so I wasn't really nervous about that. It was more so my engineer just keeping it tight and in pocket, and the post-production on it sounded right.
One of the tracks that you sung on was Keep It 100. What can you tell us about that track?
That's actually the first one I did, I think. Yeah, just another conceptual song that I wanted to talk about some things that really happened in my life, and I like to do those type of songs because I think they resonate more than just popping a bunch of shit or talking about jury and money. Pain is more relatable than anything. And there's also like a double entendre because I'm talking to Icepick on there for making sure that people that was working with him while he was sick, he didn't want me to know. So me being one of the last people to find out he was fighting colon cancer, he didn't keep it 100 with me. So talking to him as well. Like when I see him in the afterlife, he gotta give me 5 minutes in the bathroom.
You do have a lot of double meanings in this album and throughout your career. Is that something that's really important to you when you're crafting lyrics, to really focus on layers?
Yeah, you try to slip it, try to be witty with it and give some double meanings or make the listener think sometime opposed to just some bubble gum, easy to figure out stuff. Even though that's cool sometimes also.
Are there particular lines on this album that have double meanings that stick out to you?
Gotta sharpen your steel before you polish it. That can just be talking about sharpening steel and polishing it, but I'm talking about your skills and the level of your career before you can start claiming a certain status or level. Your skill has to be sharpened first. And a lot more on there. You just gotta listen. In time, you'll find there's more to find.
That's what I appreciate about the second listen and the third listen and the fourth listen to albums, that you can tell people really put gems in there.
Hidden treasures, yeah, exactly.
Speak to me a little bit about I Know. It seems like another personal track.
Yeah, I know it's very personal. You hear me saying on the beginning, let me pour out. John Legend is somebody that me and Pick always wanted to work with. He spoke to John Legend and his manager several times, when he was alive, so think they knew the whole thing with him passing and all that, so they gave a little love, and they told Steve Carlos, that they wanted me to talk about him on the song, and then they would do it, like, you know what I mean? So that's where you hear me talking on the second verse about how much he meant to me and what he was to my career. He bought me hits that only needed the vocals. You could feel the vibes the minute that he approached you. I was seeing money, I wasn't seeing the wealth. He seen things in me that I ain't seeing myself. Just letting the listener know that he was more than an A&R or just somebody from a record company that worked with me. He really cared about my well-being and my brand and my health and things like that. And just trying to give that to the listener, that pain right there. Hopefully we get another Grammy nomination. John Legend runs the Grammys.
Did you get a nomination for Why?
Yeah.
It feels like right now we're in a political climate where a song like Why could definitely be used. Have you thought about like a remix, like a 2020 version of Why? Or?
No, I got something planned though to do with the younger kids. I'm gonna let the younger kids do different versions of what's going on today and do something like that. We just talked about it yesterday, so we are gonna revamp it, but we're gonna add the youth,
At the time when that came out, you definitely had some lines for the current president of the time, Bush. It seems like with the current administration...
There's so many questions right now.
So many questions right now.
It's an unlimited amount of questions for the current administration, but yeah, we gonna touch it, but we're gonna do a little different twist with the kids, so we'll see.
Something that I've been thinking a lot about with the current climate is that, to me, hip hop's always been the voice for the marginalized. It's been the voice that speaks up when other people aren't speaking about it.
Yeah, I don't like that, because we not politicians. People always say you should use your voice and your platform to get such and such message out there. Of course, it would always help for us to add on to it, but the big wigs and the politicians have to do it first, and then, you know what I mean? And then we we signed a contract to make songs and entertain you, not to get on the podium and say what the governor or the legislator or the president or secretary of state or any of them supposed to be saying. Of course, we always supposed to help and lend a helping hand, but don't look to the artists and athletes and actors and all that to be the first one doing public service announcements, and all of that is not on us. You know what I mean?
I would have thought that over the last 4 years, more people would have spoken out, but it seems like that's not something that this generation has necessarily done.
Nah, because when it goes all wrong, they quick to headline it, but as soon as they need help getting in office or telling everybody to vote or doing this, they run to the rappers. So, you know, you gotta just be mindful when it's genuine and when it's a business, a check involved.
For sure. Yesterday was March 9th. Obviously, to a hip-hop fan.
Bittersweet for me. Because when it went down, the tragic moment was our first time out here. So that was the first time I was ever here again on March 9th. So yesterday while I was doing promo, felt a little weird.
Right. When you think back on Biggie's legacy and biggest memories, are there particular moments that stick out to you?
Being out here for our first time, he was so happy, smiling like a little kid, like he was happy to be here. Then if you hear from the interview that he did with Joe Claire, he canceled his UK promo to stay here. So it's crazy. He loved it here. He was actually, I seen him more smiling and happy over here than over there. I seen him smiling, I joke and laugh with him back home, but over here he had a different glow. He was like a little kid over here. He loved it, though. The weather, the weed, the women, just the whole energy. He just loved it. So when that happened, it was like kind of crazy, you know?
You were to pick a favorite Biggie verse. Could you do one, or there's just too many?
Yeah, I can't. He got too many for me. He got millions that I love, though.
Yeah, it's crazy when I talk to some of the young kids who don't remember or weren't around for Pac or Big's memories, and I'm like, man, there's so much there.
Yeah. But what's crazy is it's all there for them to see.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't want to get that information or intel. That's bad for the culture. They should want to know about Big, and they should want to know about Pac. They should want to know about everybody before them and see how it would help them navigate better. But, you know, unfortunately, we at a time that the balance is off. So if we get that balance back, that type of things will start generating in the universe. But right now, it's off a little. Mm-hmm. It's off more than a little.
On the intro track, you shout out Nip. What did Nip's music and legacy mean to you? You guys actually collaborated early on.
Nips was bringing what the game needed as far as musically and out of the studio. Ownership, buying back the block, getting the youth involved, building centers, working with the city of Los Angeles governors and whoever he was working with, doing things like that. That right there was that's what it's about when you get on and you turn into an entrepreneur and you're doing it the right way and preaching the right word of how to do it. You know what I mean? So that was a tremendous hit for us. Because he was reversing the norm. He was doing what they don't expect you to do. He was doing it at a high level with great music and doing great business and big things in his community. So they never liked that. They never like this. That ain't what they expect you to do. They expect you to blow the money on cars and girls and drugs and partying. He was going a whole nother route with it.
Yeah, last time I talked to him, he was actually sitting in the couch you're sitting on, and he was preaching, the importance of owning your masters and building for your community. What advice would you give to your younger self in terms of artists? We're hearing stuff like Megan Thee Stallion and her contract.
Learn the business, learn it. Surround yourself with people that that's adamant about you learning the business as much as they're adamant about you being a great artist or writing the best verses or picking the best production. Because the more you learn about the business, the better you'll be in the long run. The more money you'll make, the more money you'll save, the more business you'll do, the more better business you'll do. So if you got the talent, it's inevitable that you're gonna sign. So learning the game a little more ain't gonna hurt you. Is really the same as if you playing ball D1 and you had a decent year and everybody's in your ear, go to the draft, you don't have to go to the draft. The world already know about you. Sharpen up a little more, come back next year, then go in the draft. That's the same thing with this music thing. Soon as deals get flash, everybody go. And there's nothing wrong with that because we young and ambitious and eager and want to be a part of something, but it's okay to wait off a little bit and learn more. Learn. You know what I mean? So I think she gonna work it out, and I hope she does it, and I hope the same thing with Mase and Diddy. Life is too short. Too much shit is happening in the world. You gotta get shit right. It sounds easier than it is, but you know, I think it's doable.
Track that we haven't talked about, which is one of my favorites on the album, Gov't Cheese. What can you tell me about that one?
Gov't Cheese initially had P&B Rock on there. I think he had another writer with him on the hook, and we couldn't locate the other writer, so Dej Loaf had to come in and save the day, and she nailed the shit out of it. I think she's back off that. I think that's gonna give her that boost and make her wanna, hit the people with a new project. Of course, I got my artists on there, Nino Man on the first verse and Millie's on the second verse. Just breaking them in the way you're supposed to break them, not forcing it, giving the people good quality music to hear them and launch their careers, shortly after this.
Can you give us a little bit from the third verse, your verse?
Pain resonates more than gloating or talking about your financial situation or what type of vehicles you own or anything. Even though I love that, I buy jewelry recklessly, cars, and I mess up some money too, foolishly, but pain hits home, it hits the center mass more than any of that. And the more you give people relatable references like searching through the loaf to find the bread without mold, or, had to cover up the mouse holes, drugs in the household, sneakers too tight, you had to wear them without soles, sleeping with a sweatsuit on because the house cold. Those are things that it don't matter where you from, at least a nice percentage of your entourage went experience some or all of them things, and those just go. It's just something with pain. Is more shareable, is more relatable. That's all I had to do, But when you're on there with the young whippersnappers too, you gotta slap them around a little bit sometimes. So that's all that is.
You have a line on there where you say, although I'm successful, I can't figure this shit out
though. Yeah, because it always, it's crazy. I done seen the music business change umpteen times now. Streaming, all of this, CDs, the records, the cassettes. Who knows? So figuring it out is always the challenge. Hip hop is a Ferris wheel, and the challenge is to stay on the wheel. Of course, it's gonna go around to a bunch of chambers that ain't your cup of tea, but if you can stay on the wheel, it's gonna get back around your origin. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes fall off though because they can't adjust they can't figure it out.
Well, you've been putting it in for decades, so you definitely figured something out.
Yes, sir. Thank the Lord.
I heard that, speaking of Biggie, I heard on Friday there was a tribute for him, and Mike Tyson took your seat or something like that. How do you, that's just random stories that are flying around.
Mike Tyson and some other people was in the section, and the security and the owners in them wanted to make the move But I'm cool with Mike. I grew with Mike as my big homie. It wasn't that serious, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't me. The club people were scared to tell him that it was my section. Just fortunately, me and Mike is cool. I needed him in my section anyway, so it was good. But I don't know how these kind of stories get out. We brought Mike on stage and made the whole crowd make noise and all.
Yeah.
Mike is a family.
I'm trying to imagine Mike and you just rapping Biggie lines back and forth.
Yeah, Mike loved Biggie too.
What's next for you?
More music, tour, Locks album, Locks documentary, more juice bars. I'm gonna have my own coffee brand, Strand, in a minute.
How did that come about?
My dad has a coffee distribution company. So I grew up drinking coffee, and now with all the marketing, and he came to me, yo, you got 2 million followers in the thing, do your own coffee and market it. Yeah, all right, let's go, Dad. So, my dad's heavy in the beans. If you go to his office, he's gonna make you a cup of coffee from the bean. He's gonna grind the bean, he's gonna do it from the bottom, not just give you some concentrated processed coffee. He's really out there here in coffee, so it's the real deal.
Any last words?
Check out Ignatius, man. You need to live with that body of work. Get ready for this Locks album. Get ready for the Locks documentary. Get ready for new music for the whole 2020. Watch out for So Raspy, D Block. We working, baby.